Welcome back to the Expediting Change podcast. I'm at home, but I'm always at home when I'm doing Expediting Change, but I'm definitely for real at home right now in Buffalo, New York. You know, Buff, when I come home, I got to check out my guy Cruz and do a podcast in his studio. Got to take care of my folks, you know what I mean? So it's real funny and real interesting how all of this got started. And actually, my guest and I off camera, we were talking about consistency. I did a podcast a little while ago about consistency, calling myself out about not being consistent. It's crazy. But also, which is very, very, very brand new, I've never had a repeat guest. So because it's a repeat guest, we're going to just jump right into it. He can still introduce himself for those of you who unfortunately didn't watch the first podcast because he killed it on the first one. But we're going to dive right in. What's up, my guy?
What's up, dude?
How you?
Thank you so much for having me back.
For sure.
For those of you who didn't see the first podcast, my name is St. James, Buffalo born and raised, lived around all of America, and now my job is to be a financial educator.
All of America?
All of America.
I'm cutting you off already. What's all of America? I didn't know that.
Yes, I've lived in Denver, Los Angeles, Florida.
Did you live in Toronto too?
Yeah, and I lived, well, that's in North America now. And then don't even get me started on how many spots in Canada, because it was a lot. It was a lot. And it's a blessing because you get to see the different types of lifestyles and the causation for why a lot of people feel the way they feel. I've been in the most, hillbilly towns. Yeah. Black population me. Yeah. And I've been in some of the most hood spots as well. No doubt. Where I'm like, okay, I got to watch my own back. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a great experience, and I definitely encourage everybody, just take the time to try to expand your circle. Yep. You may not necessarily feel like, okay, I'm not going to pick up and move to Michigan or some other place.
Go Blue. I'm a Wolverines fan.
Though, you're a Wolverine fan. Okay, absolutely. Okay. I'm going to buy you a pair of claws too. No problem.
And that Wolverine too.
All right.
I'm an X-Men too.
Exactly. And because of that, it helps broaden your experience, and it teaches you a lot. And just to kind of give you a segue for that, I remember one of my core memories from when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, rest her soul, was dating a guy named Lee. Mm-hmm. Lee never left the Humboldt and Ferry area. Okay. From Humboldt and Ferry over to Central Park. And for those who don't know, that was always the block back in the day. And I mean, hood, and he's like, no, I never left here. And I'm like, well, think about how that shapes your mind.
Absolutely.
Your schooling, all of your friends, your social circle, your socioeconomic circle, everything was right there. To this day, I don't know how he made money.
I actually ran into a quote, and I'm a probably mess it up, but it was something along the lines of, the more you discover, or as you discover new things, it actually changes who you are.
Amen.
So the more curious you are and the more knowledge and information you gain, it shifts you as a person.
And I'm going to build on that too, because a lot of people, especially as we get older, we've all heard the adage that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
No doubt.
So you see some of the most progressive people, and I mean progressive just in terms of mind state.
No doubt. You gotta be careful. These times they say progressive, right?
Exactly. Is that it's okay to learn something new, but still be in tune with who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
Some people will say, I'm a hood dude. I'm always going to be a hood dude. That's cool. Yeah. But being a hood dude can also encapsulate, it can also incorporate being that I'm a highly intellectual hood dude. Yeah. So it means that I'm not going to let somebody fuck me over, but I'm also going to be able to talk to you about socioeconomic politics.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of interesting. So I don't want to jump into this right off the rip, but I did have somebody who's very conservative and showed two different videos of Kamala Harris, and already being biracial, and you learn to occupy multiple states, and being African American and maybe even a fluent African American, you know that sometimes you have to code switch. Sometimes you may have to talk with a little bit of a drawl.
Absolutely.
Because if you speak a little bit too proper, people are like, I can't trust you.
No doubt.
You ain't one of us.
No doubt.
As Kendrick already said.
No doubt. They not like us.
They ain't not like us. But if you're too all over the place, then you face the Aubrey effect, where it's like, yo, who are you? Because one moment you're this Canadian dude, another moment you're British, and another day you're Jamaican.
For sure.
But if you grow up in a society that exposes you to all of those things, and sometimes just by osmosis, you pick up a little bit of a drawl. You pick up a little bit of this. It's kind of embarrassing to say this.
Uh-oh.
I thought I was Jewish for 2 years.
How, Sway? What? How, Sway?
My best friend was Jewish and Christian.
Okay.
And I didn't understand the differences between the two theologies. So when he's like, yeah, I don't eat pork, and I run into other people who are Muslim, and they're saying, yeah, I don't eat pork. I was like, oh, I guess we're just not supposed to eat pork.
No doubt.
They taught us about Hanukkah and everything at school. Sure. And I said, oh, well, I guess this is just another like kind of denomination that is co-aligned with like Christianity, which is a whole other
Absolutely. Thing in itself. So that we are not saying that Christianity, and we're not conflating anything.
No.
He's telling his story.
This is just my story. So for 2 years, I'm like, man, I can't eat. Dang, I miss bacon so much.
Wait. I don't eat pork though. So you still don't eat pork though, right?
I dabble.
Oh, come on.
I dabble. Okay. So here's another thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So, I'm telling my little cousin that.
So here's a fun fact about pork, and so far I haven't done the full fact check on it, but here's something interesting about pork that I picked up a friend of mine. So why is it that some of us are taught not to eat pork? Again, I encourage everybody to do their own research. Back in those days, because a lot of the food was going bad, and pork can go bad very, very fast, they said, okay, if we tell people and integrate it within our theology that pork is bad, any hoofed animal is bad, then what they'll do is they'll not eat pork and they're not going to stop getting sick. But for some reason, the same you won't eat pork, but people eat goat. A goat is capable of eating anything.
Yeah.
But a pork, but to the argument of not eating pork, pigs don't sweat, and they kind of metamorphosize when you leave them out in the wild, and they become wild boars.
Yeah, and I just. I think a pig is just an extremely disgusting animal, and I have some very controversial views on pigs and man-made animals, but we way off topic from why we actually have a round two, which you hear.
Exactly.
But it's always interesting. I've known this man half my life, maybe, for a brick, and never knew either one of those stories. But, bro, I got a lot of questions. I got some pushback.
Okay, great.
But the podcast was dope, and we talked about money, and we talk about financial education on this podcast. So you killed it, my brother. That's why I appreciate you're here for round two. Thank you for that. I was having a conversation with some individuals who they were investing in a business, and in that business, they did not write a promissory note for the money that they lent to the business. So then they went and they had a conversation with a bunch of different individuals, and then they started talking about some type of key man insurance, and then that key man insurance, how they would be able to leave the organization with funds that wouldn't necessarily replace what took place or what they paid for as their upfront capital that they didn't get a promissory note for. And you were the first person I thought about. The first person I thought about. Because obviously it was a whole life policy.
Right.
But what you talk about and you put into the universe, it'll continue to cycle and come in front of you. And then it's up to you to start making decisions on it. So when we had that really good discussion, and as you know, I've evolved because I used to be straight pro-term only, and then got into whole life.
Right.
But I just want to repeat a function of that conversation and talk about whole life. And also, I would like for you to key in on the differences between whole life when we were young, the policies that our parents were buying, versus the policies that are so flexible and affordable to date. So I kind of want to start there, if which is also a segment of where we kind of pulled off of last podcast, because I was saying, well, if I have this money, how can I afford it? And you're like, Shamari, well, what you can afford. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So if I'm, let's say everyday average American making, I don't know, 60, 70, maybe $80,000 a year, and I see that attractive term policy that only costs me, let's say, $1,000 a year, versus a term policy that might cost me $2,500 a year, just for pure numbers, convince the folks, talk on expediting change, the numbers into that. Not necessarily technically, but wonderful. How that makes sense.
So to address the first point, you're about people who are investing within their corporation and they have key men.
Yeah.
what we're looking into now is what's known as COLI, and that's corporately owned life insurance.
Okay.
That is where basically people who have some level of management, like for instance, a VP of a bank, they will have a policy that is taking out on them from that corporation. And then, of course, they pass down maybe a $10,000 policy, but on the back end, there is maybe $100,000 or $200,000 policy on that same key holder. And as a result, these banks, these other corporations, they use this as a storage of wealth that they can borrow from, but never have to call it in terms of like actual income they need to pull from it.
No doubt.
So again, if you have a corporation, all right, you have an investment group, a real estate income trust, whatever you want to call it. And I definitely like the trust. In thinking about COLI, and just to kind of explain what this all is that the whole life insurance policies that are specially designed, though, these are able to have their money, the cash value, loaned against. You're able to basically withdraw. You're not really withdrawing them. That's a misnomer. Within 60 days. Okay. You front end load it. And then what happens?
Well, let's stop right there. Tell me what front end loading means. What's front end load?
Thank you. So we are going to have what will happen is you will be depositing. You make what's known as a dump in. And a dump in could be 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 in order to be able to pull that money, take a loan against that particular amount. And in the most extreme cases, you can borrow up to 90%.
So you're saying originally that 5,000, 10,000 that you just said, that is my initial funding of the policy.
That is the initial funding of the policy. But that does not mean that you can only open up one of these specially designed policies with some type of massive dump in. The real premise, the real idea behind this is the process. Depositing money into your account, your policy, I should say, and then withdrawing it for investment purposes. And this is what's done by some of the richest, wealthiest families. And I should really just say wealthiest families, because we understand that there's a difference between rich and being wealthy.
For sure. Absolutely.
And because of that, you are able to consistently have cash flow and your money working for you 24/7.
I love that. Let me stop you right there, though, because you said a lot, and I want everybody to get this. So if I just started my company, I got my LLC. I'm doing business. I'm rocking out. I've been doing it for like a year, maybe 2 years. Now I have some expendable business income that came back to my business. I am an LLC. I get this whole life policy, not for me, but my business purchases this policy with some of this, let's call it excess income. And then I go from there. So go from there. So now I got my business. I'm looking at this policy. Now how am I benefiting from this? Because the business owns the policy.
So here we go. So let's talk about Paradise. Paradise, your clothing line. It has a phenomenal fall season. Sweatpants, I need another pair, by the way, are flying off the shelves. And you have a margin, and you make a great margin. And now it's like, okay, I have this money. What can I do? Well, you can put it into a bank. You put it into the bank. But the bad thing is that one, a high yield savings account, it's going to be, you hold it in there for about 6 months, and then interest rates are going to change and you don't know what they're going to get. And also, even though we're going to say your high yield savings account is 5%, as high as 6%.
For sure.
The earnings on that are taxable. Okay. Also, we know that the Fed are about to lower interest rates. So now we're at 5 or 6. That may drop down to 4. Okay. So what happens if you dump that money, if you put those profits into a corporately owned life insurance whole life policy that's specially designed? Well, one, you have a guarantee of anywhere from 3.5 to like 3.7 in writing, which is going to outperform pretty much any traditional savings account
all day.
And it is going to compete with a high yield savings account. But there's another caveat. It also, the companies that my team works with, we work with companies that have consistently issued dividends for over 100 years.
Okay, hold on, because when you got into dividends, I gotta pause you. So I got my business.
Yes, sir.
Open up my business. I'm good with my business. Now I have this corporately owned life insurance policy. And now I'm putting this money. So it's crazy because you read my mind. You answered the question that I was going to ask. I just didn't want to cut you off, so I let you keep talking, but then you ended up answering it. I believe I'm gonna get more money. I'm gonna get more interest from this high yield savings account. Let's say 5%, 6% versus 3%. But you said something key that's a delta. You said that being taxed on that interest.
Yes, sir.
So first, let's talk about that because that's a plus. Mm-hmm. So I'm making money by saving money by not being taxed on the money. That's I want to underscore that, right? Because that's one thing I don't know we talk about often enough. It's not necessarily all the time about how much money you make, but how much money can you keep?
Talk about
how much
Jada.
Money can you legally keep from the government?
Exactly.
Legally keep from the government. You know what I'm saying? Legally. So before you get into dividends, just talk about that a little bit. And then when you go back into dividends, explain what a dividend is and then how it fits into that.
Okay, so what a dividend is these insurance companies, whether we like it or not, are extremely profitable.
No doubt.
But because we are mutually owned, the ones that we deal with, Lafayette Life, One America, not Mass Mutual, but Guardian, okay, Security Mutual, that's the one who I have my policies with. Because I am a shareholder within this, I get a portion of their profits.
No doubt.
And every month, I buy more into the company so that my profit margin increases. And that plus the power of compound interest over a period of time helps me do what's known as achieve efficiency, meaning within about 3 years, for every $1 that I put in, I'll be able to withdraw $1.20.
Now, who's withdrawing that dollars though? Because if I liken it or parallel it to if I own I think Facebook has a dividend now. So I own Facebook.
Yes.
And Facebook gives me that dividend because I own it as a shareholder. Same concept. I'm taxed on that dollar. I'm taxed on my earnings, right? I mean, as long as I pull it out, pause. But you know what I mean? So I'm sorry, that's what I didn't check.
I know, I got you.
Keep it a bug, baby.
I got you, cuz.
So how am I not taxed? Is it because it's the corporation? Like, why am I not taxed on those earnings?
Key things. One is that it is tax advantage. I don't want to say it's completely tax free. It's tax advantage.
Okay.
But also, this is a loan. You're taking a loan, and loans in most, I think 90%.
You're right.
Talk to your person.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? You are able to take a loan and it's not taxable because you got to pay this back.
No doubt.
But the advantage of this is that this is an advance on your death benefit. So you set the amortization, that's the payback period of this particular loan. And an additional advantage to this is that while your money is growing in the background at a compound interest rate of 3.5 plus dividends. The loan that you take against this is basic.
I think you got to say something here. Plus dividends, meaning I'm reinvesting my dividend and I'm not taking it myself, right?
Well, no, this is going to be growing your actual cash value.
Right. But I mean, so when you say dividends, though, I got to take that dividend and add it to my cash values as opposed to take that dividend and go buy a Gucci belt.
You're right. No.
Just wanted to say that out loud.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm glad that you brought that up because these dividends are then reinvested within the cash value. But now you look at your available cash value and it's even more. And then you take a loan against it.
For sure.
And then you buy some Gucci shoes, realize that they're limited edition.
No doubt.
And then you sell them and you make even more money. And you know what I mean?
No doubt.
And all of that is there. But that's the whole circle. And it's called infinite banking. It's a buzzword. I'm not a big fan of it. I like leveraging, but either way, it's the process of taking back control of your money so that you don't have to go through a bank because you've been through banks.
For sure.
You know that they take a long time.
For sure.
They want you to jump through hoops and they also want you to donate a kidney.
No doubt.
What if your financial reserve within your corporation, within your LLC, you were in complete control of?
Right.
And Shamari James, the owner of Paradise Clothing with your son and everything, can also loan to Paradise and get those tax advantages.
No doubt.
I'm going to give you an extra play. How much can you write off for your children? You have a son that is over 18.
Well, my son is 23. My daughter is 19.
19. Okay. Let's just say that your kids are under the age of 18. I was talking to a friend of ours, Quentin, about this. I'm like, your kids are under 18.
Yeah.
Please hire them for your LLC.
Absolutely.
Because you are giving away $14,000 to the government.
Yeah.
every year.
So say that without using Q as the example. So it's plain of what the folks should do if they have a business.
If you have a business and your kids are under the age of 18, I don't care if they're a year old.
For sure.
I'm gonna go in levels of sophistication here as well. So you are legally allowed, and consult with your CPA. This is the last that I was educated about this, is that you are legally allowed to pay your children up to $14,000 per year.
For sure.
And they will not be taxed of it. And it is a deduction for your business.
For sure.
So now you are keeping your business, your money within your family's, within your family.
So again, how much money you actually keep, not necessarily how much money you're making. So be practical with me, brother. I'm an everyday guy.
Right on.
How much is this going to cost me to get set up? Because in order for me to start my business, if I'm using an attorney versus like a legal Zoom, it may cost me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. That's for the business, right?
Right.
So now making a little bit of money, getting into this policy discussion and wanting to procure this policy, and I know it varies.
But I got a great formula for you. I got a great formula for you.
For sure.
I would say that what you need to do is look at it this way. It's 10x your age. We combine whole life with a term rider, but that term rider drops off after 7 to 10 years.
Explain a term rider. What's a term rider?
Term rider basically is what satisfies the government.
Rider, right?
Rider, like Ghost Rider.
No doubt.
Okay, since we're on a Marvel kick right now.
No doubt.
What it does is it basically, what was happening is like back in the 50s and 60s, millionaires and will be billionaires by our standards were dumping tons of money into these insurance policies. The government was like, wait a minute, we see what you're doing. So now they have what's known as the MEC 7 pay. I'm not going to get too much into the weeds about it. But basically there are guidelines that you do have to follow so that you don't violate the rules of the government. And it's called a 7 pay. You have, 7 payments have to equal so much, and you offset how much you put in whole life by how much else you have matching with term life. And for the people who do these specially designed policies, such as myself, what we do is we reduce our commissions as much as possible so that people such as yourself and entrepreneurs all over the United States are able to have as maximum cash value as possible so they can borrow from their own money. But a lot of people are like, well, why do I need to borrow my own money?
Right.
It's because while you're borrowing this money, you're taking a loan from the actual life insurance agency.
For sure.
Your money is continuing to grow no matter what. Can I give a quick story? I know I'm long-winded. So
you go.
Picture it. It's 2014. And my credit is sugar, honey, iced tea. Okay. And I needed a credit card. So I went to US Bank and I gave them $300 and I let them hold my money so they can give me a secured card. Now, the $300 is collateral. And now I have a credit card. But does that money sit at US Bank in a box that says St. James McLeod, Mr. Bad Credit?
Not even close.
Not even close.
They earn money on your money.
They're loaning it back out. They're financing other people's deals. They held that money for over 10 years. And they did not have to pay me a cent in interest on that.
Absolutely.
I did the math. And even at a very, very conservative APR, I was due another $100 over 10 years.
For sure.
I was like, are you serious?
Right.
And that's at basic interest.
Now let's make that exponential.
Now exactly.
3,000,
because not only that, banks make anywhere from $1,400 to $1,500, 1,500%, on the money that we deposit on there. Because they cycle it. And because of fractional banking, again, not going to get into the weeds about it, they're able to make their money exponentially. And we have to watch out because these banks are starting to get right where they were in 2008. Getting back to my story about US Bank. So I use this credit card. My credit card is anywhere APR. That's the interest rate that I get charged on purchases if I don't pay it off within 30 days. Is what happens is I get hit with 14%.
For sure.
So now I'm this $200 maybe I bought, a pair of J's or whatever it was. I have to pay interest on that. So now that is a second income stream. And then let's not talk about Visa, MasterCard, who gets a small percentage of that transaction fee. So everybody's getting paid.
No doubt.
And then after 10 years, they sent me a letter and said, dear St. James, we're going to give you your $300 back. And I called them. I said, where's my interest? They said, there's no interest.
For sure.
In this particular scenario where we're talking about having money in a whole life policy that is specially designed, and I know I keep driving that home.
No doubt.
Is that If I had that money in a life insurance policy, what happens is now it's going to continue growing interest at 3.5 guaranteed percent plus dividends over 10 years. And because it's compound interest, you could imagine the magnitude of how much that would have grown.
Yeah. I mean, the system is working as it is intentionally designed, which is a whole nother podcast.
We're looking at you, Klaus. You know who Klaus is.
Yeah, listen. But that's a great reference to be able to parallel the difference. I have a question, though. Why? So it's crazy. It's funny that you said infinite banking. I don't necessarily use that term. Why is infinite banking so polarizing? Why are people straying away from it? Talk to me about
the financial educators that we trust, the ones who have the social leverage to say, I can trust this guy, Dave Ramsey, Susie Ormond, and 5011 different TikTokers and Instagrammers, pretty much all subscribe by the same financial philosophy. Buy term and invest the difference.
No doubt. I was there at one point.
Exactly. And you know what? If that's your neighborhood, by all means live in it.
No doubt.
But it's going to constrain how quickly you can grow. The power of leverage is insane.
But I agree. But it seems to be like I didn't have vitriol towards whole life. I just lived in that neighborhood, as you use, that I think I can invest my money, and I think I did okay with term. And then I came around and came back to whole life because, like you said, now I made some money, and now let's switch it up. Now let's grab some whole life. Right. But that's different. Like people seem mad, upset, negative. There's a negative disposition towards, especially when you use the term infinite banking and whole life. Why is that?
Love it. And you know what? They have every right to be because there's bad actors out there. There's bad agents who will sell them I don't want to call it a financial product, but a insurance product that is not working within their best interest. I'm not going to bash IUL people. I'm not going to do that.
What's IUL?
And IUL, it's basically an index universal life. Okay. And what it does is it transfers the onus of profit in these policies from the life insurance company to the open market. And because the market has performed so well over the past 10 years, people are like, oh, yeah, it's always going to go up. That's a whole another story, why it's always gone up. But because it's gone up, people can illustrate these numbers to be through the moon. But what they don't tell you is cost of insurance goes up. A lot of these policies, what they do is they will purchase option calls. And because of the spread on option calls, as more and more people buy them, the options become more and more expensive. So it's harder for them to capture the gains of these particular policies. And as a result, they'll hear, oh my gosh, I bought this policy to do infinite banking, but as a result, I'm actually underwater.
Upside down.
They're upside down, meaning their policy isn't worth what they thought, and their cash value is not as accessible as they thought it was going to be.
So how do you market against that? I definitely, I don't want to digress too far, but I definitely understand. I'm a school choice supporter as a Democrat.
Amen.
So I definitely understand how it gets a bad rap because of bad actors. But what are you doing to market besides coming on Expediting Change?
Right.
What are you doing to market and shift that? Because our community, again, which is why I had you back here, it's not just about the questions that I got, but also, the potency of the information. How do we market to the culture about this?
One of the phrases that we have on our team is that finance is fun. Here's what's amazing, Shamari. This can be the catch-up generation. I'm not talking Heinz and I'm not talking French's.
No doubt.
When I say that this is the catch-up generation, we actually have the opportunity to learn about finance, not feel the intellectual barrier to finance, and we have the means and the freaking desire to make it happen. We are seeing more entrepreneurship, more high rates of graduation amongst our communities, black, brown, beige, I don't care what you say it, than ever before.
For sure. And nowadays it's cool.
It is cool.
What typically happen if I walk up to you and I start speaking Spanish to you and you don't speak Spanish, you're going to say, whoa, I no hablo español, right?
Right.
You know
Amen. Amen. Amen.
However, with finances, you walk up to somebody, you start talking about finances,
yes,
and whether they're embarrassed, whatever the reason is, they don't say no hablo español.
Exactly.
They just try to feel some type of way about it, and then there's a negative disposition.
That
has grossly shifted.
Amen.
Like, we are in a day and time where everybody is talking about, everybody might be hyperbolic, but it feels like everybody is talking about getting to the bag.
Exactly.
And with that being the case, Expediting Change is going to be a place that provides you a safe space to actually learn about what's actually happening for real and what you should and should not do. So I totally agree.
That's what's so key is like your school
for sure
actually provides children the platform to learn about stocks at an early age.
No doubt.
But because of the advancements of technology, we're able to start trading for ourselves on any of these particular platforms.
Absolutely.
And we're able to impart our kids into these things.
Yeah.
Think about it. 1974, women were not allowed to buy real estate. They were not allowed to open up bank accounts. They had to do everything under the man's administration.
Yeah.
And now women are graduating especially African-American women are graduating
have more degrees,
post-secondary degrees.
Absolutely.
They own more single women own real estate
absolutely
than men of their contemporaries.
No doubt.
Think about it. So that's why I'm saying, like, look, ladies, I know, and I'm going to try and say this as carefully as possible.
No doubt.
And just for put the camera, zoom it in on me, boss. The views and ideas are solely of King James, St. James. They are not the thoughts, views, or practices of Shamari James, the Expediting Change, or any of associated affiliates. Okay, now I got the disclaimer.
You got an outside.
Exactly.
What are you about to say?
But no, the premise is that my social circle, and even to a degree, my extended social circle, the ladies that were in it were like, I don't want to talk about money. I don't want to touch money. I've got 2 term life insurance policies, and I'm good. I don't want to invest. And the thing is,
don't want to. Whoa. Invest is a vague term. Don't want to invest in like the market, real estate, in general, just period.
I don't want to invest.
Oh, wow.
I'm good where I am.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, because number one, a lot of people don't know. Your 401k that you think is your golden parachute, that's going to get taxed on the way out. We're about to have higher taxes.
For sure.
Everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
Every expert, we're going to have higher taxes. So that 401k you're not okay. It's what it should be. I'm not saying that we shouldn't invest in our 401ks.
Yeah.
It's just that we have to set our financial compass now.
For sure.
Otherwise, we will be lost later on. You don't want to be 60, 70 in your retirement years saying, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, your house is going to be paid off. Guess what? A lot of people by the age of retirement are still paying on their home.
Absolutely.
I got 4 buckets for you.
Yeah.
We should all have 4 buckets. We should have a 401k.
Okay.
Match up to employer match. Excuse me.
First off, you're reading my mind again, because I was literally just about to ask you to give me like 3 to 5 points in what investment looks like and what a portfolio should look like from a balanced perspective. And then you start saying it, but go ahead.
Love it. Well, hey, we're on a frequency, and we should have 4 buckets, right? And the first is the 401k. Up to your employer match, that's cool because that is free money. And yes, you are going to be taxed on it later on.
You got to say more about free money. That is key, and explain that.
Exactly, because what these employers are doing is they're using this as basically a way to defer some of their tax burden by putting into pre-tax dollars into your 401k, into the stock market, which has been propping it up more and more, because now a lot of employers are auto-enrolling people into 401ks.
So why should I match? If they give me $10,000 a year, why should I take $10,000 out of my pocket that I could be spending to put it into my 401k?
Because by the velocity of money, would you rather have $10,000 saved or $20,000 saved? You get that $20,000 saved year after year after year. That's still going to grow very well, and that's maybe just sitting in a SPY, which is an index, or a Vanguard fund, which love them or hate them, they doing their thing.
No doubt.
30% returns on their mega portfolio. I said, God dang, it makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of dollars and cents, I should say. But our second bucket, okay, and this is going literally right around the same level of sophistication of set it and forget it. is after you have your 3 months of emergency funds available, put the rest into a policy, into a life insurance policy, a whole life policy, because that money is going to grow with compound interest.
For sure.
And if you need to access it, you can borrow against it and pay yourself back. But because it is a forced savings plan, what will happen is that you are going to develop the financial fortitude, I just made that term up, to be like, excuse me, that you're always going to say, well, I need to make this particular, make this particular deposit.
For sure.
No, it's not a payment. It's a deposit because guess what? I can take that money back out.
Yeah.
If I pay my light bill's, that money's gone forever.
Yeah.
I pay a car note, that money is gone forever.
For sure.
What if Lucid Air? Okay. Lucid Air is going to cost you $80,000.
I caught one and took it back 3 days later.
Exactly. And I love that story. I love that story.
No doubt.
And what happens is you're able to purchase this car cash. If you buy it cash, typically that money's gone and c'est la vie. If you take a loan against yourself, now what you can do is you can pay yourself back. But in the meantime, remember, you didn't pull out that money that's earning interest. $70,000 earning 3.5% interest year over year, which is only going to grow. It's going to add up to a lot of extra zeros.
So love that.
So we got 2 more buckets. Can I just finish it up? Okay.
Well, yes, but that's what I want to do. I want to clarify because you said 2 things which made it bimodal. So I want to clarify. So is number 2 have my emergency savings and then 3 take the difference and put it in, or is number 2 both?
Number 2 is both.
Okay.
Number 2 is both having a 3 months reserve. Some people say 6. And again, that's akin to your financial philosophy. But after that, putting into something that is going to be guaranteed, and it's going to be something that you need anyway.
So if you can't do 6, do 3 for that, and then 3 for the policy, all in number 2.
Well, also, remember, your policy is ongoing.
For sure.
You can do it so that the policy stops after 20 or 30 years. But if you have something that for every dollar that you put in, you get $1.20, $1.40 back.
No doubt. Let's keep hustling.
Wow, just keep hustling every day. Rose said it, and so those 2 are together because that is your source of wealth. Your bank should not be where you store your money. It is the place where you transact your money.
I say that one more time.
Look
into the camera.
Your bank. Zoom in on me again because this is my good side too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So your bank should not be where you store your money. Your bank is where you transact your money.
No doubt.
Okay?
No doubt.
Because they're going to hit you. You can lose money by having your money in a savings account.
Oh, absolutely. If your money is in a savings account at 2% and inflation is 4%, that's easy math.
And people will fight me tooth and nail to say, no, what about the fees?
Yeah.
You can get hit with a fee.
Absolutely.
A paper fee.
Absolutely.
Administration fee.
Absolutely.
Fee.
Absolutely.
Do-re-mi fee.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Banks they're the worst.
That's why they have a lot of the nicest buildings on the block.
Absolutely. The only exclusion to that, and I wouldn't even call it an exclusion. I say the only amendment, additive thing that I would put on that, if you are in a bank that is offering you like a major high yield on your money.
Amen.
But other than that, I totally agree.
It's a wrap like Reynolds. Right? So we got 2 more, and these become now a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah.
We're going to go to number 3, which is probably your favorite. And yes, you should have some form of a self-directed stock portfolio.
For sure.
If you don't want to be watching the markets and all that other stuff, hey, fine. The easiest thing is go to SPY, which is basically the top 500 companies and just saying, hey, all right, these are my top 500 companies. Obviously, it's heavily leveraged with a lot of tech right now. But what will happen is year over year, it has performed pretty well.
No doubt.
Even with a foregoing recession, which a lot of people are predicting, true recession, not the shenanigery that people were talking about a year ago.
No doubt.
Is that it will go up over time. And as a matter of fact, if you start now, if you get in while the market starts to go down and you're catching it on the wave back up, think how the velocity of that is.
Absolutely.
And in extreme circumstances, I'm not really a big fan of this, but like a company like Vanguard, if you go into their fund, you can borrow up to 50% against the stock that you have with some of these funds.
No doubt.
Caveat. 15% APR.
No doubt.
So whatever you're doing, it better be a good reason.
Absolutely.
But you could also borrow from your 401k as well.
Love it. The only thing that I would add to that is if you are worried, scared, don't believe that you can do it, I'm not necessarily promoting financial planners. However, if you have a financial planner that is getting a commission based off of growth, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Got you.
So if you got that financial planner that does not have you in single stock exposure, meaning you have one stock,
right?
But that planner has some index funds, whatever the case may be, and they get paid as your money grows.
Yep.
Make that recommendation. Or if it's the opposite and they're gonna make you 10% and they only taking one, you up 9. So I just wanted to add in
that's
on,
great.
on that.
And
third
I'm
point.
stealing that for my next podcast.
No doubt,
I'm completely stealing that, all
doubt,
of that.
No doubt.
And the final one is your self-directed IRA.
Yeah.
Now, why self-directed? Roth IRA. Because
I'm sorry. Can I go back to 3 real quick? Because since you said that. So just for clarity, so number 3 is not a retirement account.
No, sir.
You're talking about a brokerage account.
A brokerage
You're talking about
account.
Go ahead. So just talk real quick about brokerage account.
So brokerage account, you're opening up. Robinhood is obviously very, very accessible.
Yeah.
Granted, some of the people don't like some of the not fees, but how they inflate some of the prices.
Yeah.
But it's the cost of doing business.
Sure.
My biggest win was off of Robinhood. And guess what? I'm super happy for it.
No doubt.
Or TD Ameritrade, or I think it's just TD now.
Schwab owns them now.
Schwab, yes, thank you. Yeah, so Schwab owns them now. And what happens is you learn to start paying attention to, okay, this is what the market's going on, what's going on with the market. And it's kind of ironic because your perception of certain things becomes more important.
No doubt.
You may not be worried about, what's the newest dance or whatever it is. It's like, yo, I heard NVIDIA is, selling all these chips now to Facebook.
That's
so
right.
Facebook is looking good.
That's right.
But Microsoft over invested into NVIDIA. So now they're doing this. And
it just crashed worldwide.
Exactly. So now you're like, oh, now you're in tune with the business gossip.
For sure.
And kind of pulling back to what I was saying before. It's like, there's nothing wrong with sitting around at the the dinner table and saying, hey, did you hear what happened with X, Y, and Z company? For sure. It's like, oh, yeah. And guess what? Not only that, now you start seeing people, the business celebrities, obviously the biggest being Elon and Zuckerberg, is that it's like, okay, why don't we where are our Black or Latino business celebrities? They're out there. George Bryan is out there. Yeah. You've got anybody who's, of the EYL tribe.
Robert F. Smith.
God dang, that's a bad dude.
Yeah, he cold.
That's a cold dude. That's a cold dude.
Cold.
And
look him up.
Robert F. Smith, I was that far away from him. I was trying to high five him. Security pushed me away. Robert, yo, Bob, holla at a dude.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Come to Expediting Change.
Exactly, because these are the people who inspire not only our generational wealth, but for us to be that catch-up generation.
And market movers just based off what they say.
Exactly.
Just what they say.
Just what they say. And we look at some of the most successful athletes. They are looking to diversify. They don't just say this. There's a guy from the Chicago Bears who wanted to get paid as an LLC.
Oh, the brand new, I can't think of his name right now.
I don't know it either.
Fan, but the boy that came out of USC.
Yes.
Yeah, the NFL told him no, but think about that. So let's clarify that really quick. So what we talked about earlier was getting that LLC started, getting your corporation started, which has a whole nother conversation about how it limits your liability. But this young man coming out of college told the NFL, give me my millions of dollars. Don't pay me, pay my LLC.
Do you know how crazy that is? And remember, the NFL is a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So they're like, no.
Like,
you got to get paid.
Not even a chance. But we got to get his money away.
So you know who did freak the system? They're back in college. Your boy.
Who's that?
Logan.
I didn't know that.
Not Logan. You're a Michigan Wolverine?
Yeah.
Who was their head coach for mad long?
Harbaugh. Oh, Harbaugh did do that. But he didn't do it with the NFL. He did it with Michigan.
That's what I'm alluding to. They did, and I'm saying they did it with
good point. Who the host here? Who the host here? He did do that, bro. I forgot about that.
He was getting paid through his life insurance policy. And it reduces his tax burden. Now that he's with the Chargers and he's in California, who knows what's going to happen? Yeah,
but Michigan, they gave that money, absolutely.
They gave him all that money. They did not pay
him directly.
Exactly. Yeah. And because of that, that's a huge move. All right. These athletes, these paragons of our financial success, especially within the inner city, because that's what we see. We see Black, we see Latino, whatever the term is now, success in these fields. So we want to be like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen how them athletes live. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
But what we don't also see is that the people, the businessmen, some of the accountants, and all the people that surround them are also living that type of big life.
No doubt.
And a lot of times their money lasts a lot longer. And case in point is Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That some bitch broke.
Oh yeah,
he's bankrupt.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, bro,
and a lot of them. I mean, we don't even have to call him out specifically. It's easy too because he's super popular. But a lot of them, they get into that position. But I don't want you to forget 4 because I took you off of 3. I brought you back to 3 to talk about brokerage. I got excited
when we started talking about Wolverines and stuff like that. So the 4th one is your self-directed IRA. And this is what it is you are taking the financial control of your retirement. Self-directed IRA, Roth IRA means that you're taking your after-tax dollars while they're lowest and you're applying to different investment tools. So you can go to people who have business ideas and I almost stepped in it again. You can go into people who are investing in real estate, let's just say, something that's tangible that you feel that you know, like, and understand, that you feel comfortable with. Maybe it's something that you could see and say, you know what? I like this business. I like what you're doing. I'm willing to loan you funds for my self-directed IRA. And you can buy that truck to help expand your business. And within 1 year, you're going to give me a 15% return. And for those of you, for people, not yourself, but for getting a 15% return twice a year. You're killing a game.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I know people are getting 10% returns on rehabbing forklifts. They put what? So $20,000 buys you a used forklift.
Okay.
And what happens is they get the used forklift. This is completely turnkey. Get this forklift. Every industrial business needs a forklift. But unfortunately, they get old, they get tired, they get torn down. And then what happens is this company, actually based here in Western New York, what they will do is they will for $20K to start, caveat to start, will find a forklift. Use your funds that you can use from your self-directed IRA or what have you, and then rehab it, refurnish it, whatever, and then split the profits with you. We'll say 50, 40 or something, 40, 60.
That's crazy.
And I have people
refurbishing forklifts.
There's opportunity everywhere.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
And think of it this way. A lot of people, myself included, and please understand, I mean this with utmost humility because look, I was broke driving Amazon trucks. I was broke sitting in the UPS truck with my man Cole. All right. Shout out to Cole. And I'm like, man, like, how are we supposed to make this money? But now, because of all this exposure that we have out here, all this opportunity, we just have to say, look, I need to take that jump. And it's going to be within my threshold of risk. But now that some of the people are, making decent money, some people are making 150, some people are making 250,000. This should be on your table.
Agreed.
Not just for yourself, but also for your children. Because your children, like, look, those are our greatest assets and our greatest. So that's our legacy, legacy. And they're excited about this. It warmed my heart. My daughter is like, you know what? Me and my boyfriend, we're talking about getting our first investment property. You're 21 years old.
Nice.
I thought, millennials and Gen Z, you guys are all lazy. It's like, no, Dad. We see what you're doing. We see what this is going on over here. And we watch some of the socials and we see the people who are doing stuff and the people who aren't.
I love that.
That's what we have to see. You inspire a lot of people directly and indirectly.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? And we see that, and that energy reciprocates itself.
No doubt.
There's
no doubt.
No matter what culture, community you're from, there's always going to be detractors. And there's always going to be people that are going to grow it.
Oh, absolutely. Bro, we did almost an hour and we didn't even talk about dynasty trusts, irrevocable trusts.
Oh, man. That's a whole nother story.
Sub-trust inside of a trust. All of which that have policies inside of the trust. The trust actually holds the policies.
That's right.
That is able to protect your assets because you avoid probate. Like, we didn't even get into that topic, bro. Like, let's not start because we'll be here another hour. We got another meeting to go to. But breaking this down and convincing. Again, I'm not gonna call. I'm gonna stay away from average. I'm gonna say everyday. The everyday person. I'm listening to this podcast, and I'm the everyday guy or gal. Everyday man or woman going to work, my 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I'm not living paycheck to paycheck, but I'm not balling out either.
Right.
Like, how are you convincing me, besides the obvious, to grow my money? But as I'm counting my coins,
yes,
the benefit for coming into this whole life policy, the benefit for investing. Talk to me about the benefits, because I don't have a lot of expendable cash.
So I know someone, she is a sewer inspector. That's the most blue collar of blue collar jobs.
No doubt.
And I respect the fornication under the consent of the king out of her. Because she's literally and figuratively in the most toxic work environment that you can think of. Yeah, she doesn't make a gain of money. But she said, look, I'm developing the financial discipline to be more than what I was. I can't be minimum wage. Minimum wage means I'm going to be a slave. Okay. I'm always going to have to work for my money. The richest people in the world, the most wealthy people in the world have their money working for them. If I don't start turning that corner, it never will happen. And some people adopt this idea, some people don't. And that is their right to choose. Yeah. And we do outreach with podcasts, with speaking, with courses and everything. But it is up to the individual's choice to either walk through that door, open up that window, to say, hey, look, I'm going to be receptive for this information. For sure. Because if it doesn't happen now, someone else is going to be doing it. Absolutely. And you're going to be looking like, dang, that could have been me. That could have been me.
I love that. I would really love to end on that, but I got to ask one more question. That was a perfect segue to end. But
it's all good, brother.
Again, you're the first time guest coming back, which is dope, which is love. So I'm not going to ask you, what are you doing today for, the community, the positive progression of the culture. But what I will ask from a recency perspective, since the last time we spoke a few months ago, it was cold actually, because
you had the shoes and we almost slipped in the ice. And
no doubt.
Wait,
it's Buffalo. I came from Maryland. We were good. But just from the time that we first talked to now, how have you helped some individuals for the positive progression of the culture?
I did the impossible. I actually got my family on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because when your arms reach away, that you would think, okay, these are going to be my people. They're going to support me no matter what. But they can also have the highest degree of skepticism. And because they're like, man, I used to change your diapers. I used to, how you going to talk to me about this? But what it is I have a niece, love her to death. Yeah. And happy birthday, Papaya. Her birthday is literally tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And I showed her guardians, her parents, the illustration of, if we start this now, how much she will have later, and to multiply it. Yeah, our family is like, okay, we're also going to get into real estate. Sure. So now Naya's investing at 3 years old, and she'll be able to reap the benefits, and she's growing up in this system forever and ever. And then we could still, we make enough margin, we can pay her a certain amount, and it goes right into her policy. It pays for the policy. No doubt. And then she has accessibility to it so that she can have well over $25,000 by the time that she is 19. That could be used for her to buy a car, pay for college, invest in some of her own things. For sure. It's her choice. Yeah. And the thing is, I understand that, myself included, you have to see in order to believe. You need to see in order to believe.
Exposure.
And if I show somebody a whole bunch of freaking numbers, I ain't gonna lie, a wall of data. I know you're an engineer by trade, so you will. Yeah, I'm gonna make these numbers my. You know what?
No doubt.
Me, I'm gonna be like, man, if you can't draw a picture of it,
for sure,
forget about it. But the premise is that we do see this. There's a family out there, the Rockefeller family. They've been doing this for generations, and that's how they've maintained their wealth. The Waltons have been doing this for generations, and it's going to continue.
For sure.
There's so many families that have these trusts. There's a meme, and I'm going to close out like this. There's a meme right now. It's the song of the summer. 6 feet, blue eyes, and finance, trust fund. We as a community need to start producing more trust fund babies.
For sure.
And it is within our reach. For sure. Even if we are working in the sewers.
Absolutely.
We are working for the city or working for the state.
Absolutely.
If we start today.
Absolutely. I think that was actually a better way to close.
Amen.
Actually a better way to close. Killed it again, my guy.
All right.
Man, listen, how do I sum this up? How do you sum up something that is so multifactorial and has so many different paths forward for the positive progression of the culture? My guy came on. I had to bring him back because I was literally getting DMs and text messages with that. What did he say? So I wanted to make sure I brought him back to break down some of the concepts that we talked about. And already I'm thinking about when I can bring him back again and get into this conversation about these dynasty trusts and having this conversation about while we're getting you into these LLCs, we now got to have these LLCs inside of our trusts to then create more trust fund babies. But I'm going to take what he said when you started talking about exposure and then action in that exposure. If you're watching this and you're getting the knowledge, it's up to you now to take that step. Financial literacy, financial education, getting to the bag is more popular than it has ever been in my 47 years of life. I was always told that I had champagne taste and beer pockets, and I don't like beer. So I had to figure out how I was going to be able to afford champagne. So that's what it was for me. That's what put the burning desire in me to make sure that I went out and got the bag, while continuing to have conversations that capitalism has done a lot to the culture. Absolutely. We do not discount that. But the more money that I can get, the bag, bringing in income and revenue, then I can create my own socialism and be able to give back to individuals. So it's up to you. You got the exposure. You're watching Expediting Change. Now, what's the next step that you're going to take? Is it going to be Google? Is it going to be grabbing your AI? Is it going to be listening to the next episode? But now being exposed, it's time for you to take action. This is Expediting Change. I want you all to be multi-billionaires. Love y'all.